those scars are real. Those scars are proof that, your past is real. So they're never gonna go away. I own them, but I'm proud of my childhood. I'm proud because without all of these lessons in life, and everybody says this, I mean it. I mean it, because I was able to look at my childhood and how I grew up as the ultimate training ground for my life. There has to be some people on this planet Earth who have my mentality. As gross as it is to some people, and as far off as it is and not understood, there has to be some people like me on this planet Earth. Has to be some warriors out there that are able to take this mindset and do something with it. So that right there, once you are able to look at your life and realize that all these bad things are actually the ultimate training ground for what you're going to, encounter in life, you start looking at your past very differently. You are your present, future, and past are all important aspects of who you really are. Unfortunately, many people overlook at least one. Because they don't feel at peace with who and what they are, they find it hard to follow through on the goals they set. So that you can stick to your plans confidently, you have to get to know all parts of you. Face your past. Your past will shape who you become today. Your past influences your feelings and the natural responses of your brain to stimuli. In your earliest years of life, you realize that certain actions led to certain responses. These associations may have been positive or negative. There are always negative aspects in our pasts that can make it difficult for us to move forward. Others may see the past as an idyllic time and long for the golden age they can have back. In either case, a negative outlook can lead to both your future and your present. This is why it's so important to acknowledge your past. Accept the fact that your life is your past and that you cannot change that. The past cannot be changed, no matter how much you try, but you can change it and make it reflect you better. Your past is yours to make meaning of. It doesn't have the power to disable you. You can harness it to power your drive for the future. It can only hold as much power that you give it, so make sure to use that power wisely. Recognize and accept the trauma you have, even though it may be difficult. You don't have to forget about trauma or minimize its importance, but you must learn to see the trauma as a whole and give it the weight it needs. This is true for both minor and major trauma. No matter how much trauma you still have, it is important to learn from it. Analyze your past to see how it has affected you. Once you have recognized your trauma, then you can explore how that trauma or your joy in life has changed you. Now think about all the things you might have done differently without the trauma. Without it, think about where you might be. It's okay to regret the decisions you made, but see the impact of your past on who you are today and envision how it can influence the future. Your past will have an impact on who you are, but it is not your only influence. Avoid keeping painful reminders that only make you feel worse for your present. Don't keep old trinkets around that make you feel less good about yourself. Forgive, but don't forget. If you feel it will help you forgive those who have hurt your feelings, do so. You don't have to forgive people who have hurt you. It's about letting go of the guilt and shame that has held you back. You release yourself from the pain of your hurt and its power over. It is important to remember what happened. You can't block those memories, but it is a waste of time. Let yourself forget the pain and move forward without bitterness. You must realize that what you remember may not be 100% accurate. Memory is a fuzzy thing. People can forget what happened to them. Even a casual conversation may change your memory of past events. Memory is flexible, so remember that your memories may be incomplete. You may only remember the basic details of an event, but you might forget the details. It's normal to forget details. Your memories are influenced by your emotions and experiences. It's that simple. Once you realize this, the past may not be as powerful as it seems. Although it isn't changeable as I stated, you can make changes to bring about peace. Your past is a source of gratitude. Even if your history is terrible, there are still things you can be grateful for. You can think of something positive and be grateful it happened. It could be something small, but it can save someone who is suffering. Your dad might have been a negligent drunk, but you will always remember that he used to take you out to ice cream and that was the best time you had with him. That small memory can be a great way to keep the hard memories in your mind so you can get through the tougher ones. Your past is irrelevant to you. No matter what happened in your past, you aren't that trauma. You are you, and you are what you present to the world. You cannot be reduced back to the same person you were 5 years ago. You are free to be the person you want to be in the future. There's no need to remain the person you were hurt. There is no way to erase your past. It might seem impossible for you to come out of your past. However, with time and self-reflection, and possibly some therapy, it is possible. It is not necessary to be tied down by the events of the past. Get rid of the past and begin living in the future.
And that's why I talk about the warrior mentality. And that's why so many people are lost when I start talking. You have the right. You're lucky that you don't have to think like warriors think. You're very privileged. I chose this world to be a warrior, and I would choose it again if I came back to this world. But the mentality of a warrior is very different than normal mentality. You must be that person on that door, get ready to open it, thinking to yourself, if I die, so be it. The only way you can go in that door is knowing there's a great chance you're gonna die. Like being a SEAL, you train with live ammo. You jump out of an airplane, everything you do, you could die. So to be a warrior, why people don't understand me, I'm glad you don't understand me. Merry Christmas, good on you. Because being a warrior takes a whole different mindset. A whole different mindset to know that there's a great chance I may not be in the military. Like I was in for 21 years. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that I'm alive, able to talk to you, able to still run. But when you sign up on that dotted line to be like a SEAL, your mentality changes. I may not live. You gotta accept that. And that's the mentality you have.
I realize that prejudice is everywhere. There is a piece of it in every person and each and every organization. And if you are the only in any given situation, it's on you to decide how you're gonna handle it because you can't make it go away. For years, I used it to fuel me because there's a lot of power in being the only. It forces you to juice your own resources and to believe in yourself in the face of unfair scrutiny. It increases the degree of difficulty, which makes every success that much sweeter. That's why I continually put myself in situations where I knew I would encounter it. I fed off being the only one in a room. I brought the war to people and watched my excellence explode small minds. I didn't sit back and cry about being the only. I took action, said go yourself, and used all the prejudice I felt as dynamite to blow up those walls. But that kind of raw material will only get you so far in life. I was so confrontational, I created needless enemies along the way, and I believe that's what limited my access to the top SEAL teams. With my career at a crossroads, I didn't have time to dwell on those mistakes. I had to find higher ground and turn the negative I created into another positive. I didn't just accept land warfare duty. I was the best instructor I could possibly be. And on my own time, I created new opportunities for myself by launching my Ultra Quest, which revived my stalled career.
It's not about suffering how people may look at suffering. Like you have to just go to a place that just every day of your life is suffering. You have to tap into suffering every day of your life because we have so much scarring that we have to clean up. You have to look at suffering as almost like I look at failure. To succeed, you must fail. In failure and in suffering, all the answers are in there. All the answers to all the test questions. The test is your life. All the answers are in there. You don't have to live in suffering and pain and failure all the time. You have to learn, I need to visit it. Like people hate working out. You're only gonna visit working out maybe an hour a day. 23 other hours of the day, you're not in it. But how you become in shape is you must visit suffering, visit working out 1 hour a day. Visit suffering 1 hour a day. Visit your past failures 1 hour a day. The relationship with it is the answers are in there. They are in there. Within the suffering, go in there, and I call it the live autopsy. The live autopsy. How you find out someone died? They crack you open after you're dead. How you can live is do it while you're alive. Go back in your brain, crack it open while you're alive. Don't wait until you're dead to figure out why you died. Do it while you are living. Go in there, go into the suffering, go into the pain of your life and say, why did this suck for me so bad? Why am I afraid of all this stuff? Why have I shut down the whole world? I guarantee I'll tell you why you shut down the whole world. It's in these nooks of the suffering within your brain, in the scarring, are all the answers to why you are on the couch feeling sorry for yourself. They lie within the scars. Visit them for at least an hour a day, study them, and then you'll find out more about yourself. You will then grow. So don't look at it as every day I suffer. Go into it an hour a day. Learn from yourself, learn from life, learn from your failures, learn from your insecurities, learn from your self-doubt. Don't just say, I'm afraid to jump off an airplane. What makes you afraid of it? Study it. That's why I studied my mind. Why I became so powerful in the mind is because I realized I was weak. So instead of running away from the mind, I dove into it and said, what is making me weak? Oh, this makes sense. I came from hell. I came from a place that beat me down to nothing, which is why I'm afraid. All this makes sense. So systematically, one by one, I went back and met every single person in my mind, every situation. I went one-on-one with them again in my mind and said, okay, let's now revisit this. And that's how you do it. That's how it works. This challenge for the unusual motherfuckers in this world. A lot of people think that once they reach a certain level of status, respect, or success, that they've made it in life. I'm here to tell you that you always have to find more. Greatness is not something that if you meet it once, it stays with you forever. That evaporates like a flash of oil in a hot pan. If you truly want to become uncommon amongst the uncommon, it will require sustaining greatness for a long period of time. It requires staying in constant pursuit and putting out unending effort. This may sound appealing, but will require everything you have to give and then some. Believe me, this is not for everyone because it will demand singular focus and may upset the balance in your life. That's what it takes to become a true overachiever. And if you are already surrounded by people who are at the top of their game, what are you going to do differently to stand out? It's easy to stand out amongst everyday people and be a big fish in a small pond. It is a much more difficult task when you are a wolf surrounded by wolves. This means not only getting into Wharton Business School, but being ranked #1 in your class. It means not just graduating Buzz, but becoming enlisted honor man in Army Ranger School, then going out and finishing Badwater. Torch the complacency you feel gathering around you, your co-workers and teammates in that rare air. Continue to put obstacles in front of yourself because that's where you'll find the friction that will help you grow even stronger. Before you know it, you will stand alone